We're back.
They're back. It's Wayne Detonator.
Yeah, we're back. So soon.
Yes.
It's almost as if we were doing another vlog entirely.
Were we? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
But it's good to be back, sir.
Yes. Eddie's. So, anyways, yeah, we recently watched another movie that we saw a lot more recently, and so it's a lot more fresh in our heads. Is Starship Trooper by Paul Verhoeven, because I've always been meaning to watch this movie. But
Yes, this is the first time that we've seen it.
first time I got to see it in its entirety, because I saw bits and clips of it, but not the entirety of the movie. So, first impressions. What did you think of the movie?
Well, it was definitely a satirical approach to. I think we were talking about the wars that go on around the world, the way the media can manipulate
The
things,
military, the media, and there was and there was a few other things like the censorship.
Censorship.
The censorship.
Yes, it's true. Because certain things in the media get censored, but then other things don't. In the movie, obviously there is no censorship, but in the news clippings there are censorship, right?
Yeah. So
So they're trying to show.
overall, you would say you'd kind of enjoy it, like maybe not the best, because we were talking about it earlier, and it kind of seems like seems kind of light. Well,
Yeah, it's kind of like it has that B movie feel to it for sure, a little bit.
a big budget B movie.
Okay. Well, I guess because of the lack of armor that they were supposed to have from the books, right?
There's a kind of a bit of a story behind like the Starship Troopers series that I did read up on, like before I saw the movie, like out of interest, is in the original story they were supposed to be wearing power armor, like say in the Fallout games, to fight the bugs, and not the armor that always get ripped to shred whenever they get attacked. And it's like, why the fuck do you even wear it at all if it just, it doesn't really protect you? Because yeah, it seems kind of like dead weight to me. I guess it's to protect them from shooting each other, perhaps, because there was that thing where Johnny Rico removed one of the teammates' like helmet, and he got blasted in the head. So perhaps maybe it's not the armor for the bugs, but for the soldiers. So when they're shooting, it's like, don't worry, just keep shooting, and you'll hit the bugs and not so much the guys.
I think it was also trying to point to the fact that they didn't know what they were up against. A lot of people, even in, like when they go to war, maybe they underestimate their enemy,
Which is the case in
this film as well. But yeah, definitely, it's going back to the B movies. Like there was movies where like insects came to try to take over the world,
or some sort of invasion infection, kind of like a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, Aliens was probably a great inspiration for this film, I would say. But this is definitely more of a parody than Aliens was.
Although, would you say it was an enjoyable parody? Because
yeah, I mean, even Aliens was also poking fun at things like there's one character who he's all badass at the beginning. Then when he's getting involved with aliens, he gets all scared. Well, it's the same with these guys. They just get thrown into the mix, and a lot of them aren't ready for it, and they want to run away.
Yeah. For my first time seeing Starship Trooper in its entirety, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was fun to watch, and then there are quite a bit of subtleties in it too that are fun if you think and talk through about it, because the sequels to these movies, the directors or whoever didn't understand what Paul Verhoeven did, and why the original Starship Trooper movie works so well. And it was just it was missing those subtle messages and satire of military, because it was just hey, shooting bugs is fun. That'll make for a good movie. I haven't actually seen it, but I don't really, from what people have told me or I've seen comments about, I don't think I would want to watch it, unlike say RoboCop 2 and 3, which is also by Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, and the music composer for this film was also involved with RoboCop.
Every time I get every time I expect the dun 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 dun.
It was almost
very similar.
Very similar, yeah.
I would have liked to see a robot, they constructed an android to help fight with the machines too.
Yeah, I was hoping, that part where they show the guy's hand, it's been obviously removed, so it has like an armor. I was hoping that Peter Weller would have been asked to be in this film because Paul Verhoeven did ask some of his previous cast members to be in this movie. So I thought.
Oh, why did you mention the previous cast members that you've seen in here and other movies, like say Total Recall? There were two characters you brought up.
Rascal was his name. Rascal. He is played by Michael Ironside, who is also Richter in Total Recall. See you at the party, Richter. Yes, the guy who loses his arms.
And in this movie, he loses his legs.
Yes, I guess that was like an inside joke by Paul Verhoeven.
You think so? Because it's kind of like, I think it's just we're overthinking, and it's just kind of, oh hey, that's funny. He loses his arm in Total Recall. He loses his legs.
No, I'm pretty sure he did it for that reason.
He technically lost his left arm.
I think it would have been funnier if he started the movie with no arms and then he had no legs at the end of it. But I guess that would have been too cruel. So Paul Verhoeven let him keep one arm at the beginning instead of having to deal with.
And gave him a mechanical arm.
Yeah, mechanical arm.
Gene Rascal was his name, and then the other character that was also from Total Recall, the guy.
I forget his name, but or the actor's name, but he played the man who was carrying Koado, which is the psychic alien entity that's in his chest in the Total Recall movie. So he's also in this film. He doesn't have a long.
He doesn't live long
scene, but yeah, he is in this film, which was kind of cool. So I think, in retrospective, Peter Weller.
Marshall Bell.
Okay.
Was it Marshall Bell?
It's possible, yeah.
Because I have IMDb open, so if you see me going, actually you're probably just only listening to this, but I'm checking IMDb just a bit in the meantime too. Yeah. So,
but Paul Verhoeven's always liked to give, or actually not just Paul Verhoeven, but other directors like to give. Certain actors another chance, especially if they got along with them and everything. So
yeah, and I think those are usually the fun things. It's like, oh, what role is he gonna play? At one point, I expected Rodney Cox to pop up during the embassy when they were talking about like, oh, what should we do about the bugs and stuff. So why don't we talk about the story since we've kind of getting going on about it?
The story. I mean, it kind of felt like, I think you said Saved by the Bell at the beginning, like a type of...
Okay, well, the story to this movie is that in this universe, humankind has been going all over the galaxy, and then there's this one galaxy, not Katrina.
Yeah, hold on.
It's sort of Planet K. Like,
let's see if this is in here.
Oh, I'll keep continuing on. There's this planet where there are bugs existing that live on these...
Klendathu, yeah.
However you say it, I forget. But bugs come from that planet, and they inhabit these. I forget. I kind of forget because I got confused somewhere in the movie. Did the bugs live in the asteroids, and when the asteroids crashed into other planets, then they started invading?
Yeah.
Because then there was that one asteroid that got sent flying, and it was like it had no bugs on it. I thought Earth was kind of fucked there.
Yeah.
So I got confused there, but so yeah, basically the bugs are bad, and human fights against the bugs. And this movie has a lot of commercial to like join up, like Uncle Sam wants you.
Yeah, it was not like RoboCop, sorry, not Total Recall. Yeah, RoboCop. Actually, Total Recall did have some commercials too. I think Paul Verhoeven, that's like a recurring theme in a lot of his films. He likes to have those type of, kind of breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. This one broke it the most, or like more often than RoboCop, because it's like, you want to know more? Click here.
Yeah, I kept saying that.
And like join now, and then the thing with the censorship, the news, and like these, what's it called during the war when they're like trying to show messages to be like, oh, be against this, be against that. Not.
I could think of propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda, like the kids stomping on all the cockroaches and the bugs, and the mom or whatever. It's like it's like
it's like do your part, right?
Do your part. Squash the bugs.
Squash the bugs.
Then the thing with the censorship where it's like they had a cow get killed by the bug, but it was censored. But then they show like these people that went to Planet K because they ignored the Federation warning, and they were all killed. And you see bodies everywhere. It's like there was a satire there, like I read somewhere, and I was like, oh,
and it always has
that's
to
kind
be,
of interesting.
It always has to be a cow, doesn't it? Even in Jurassic Park, the raptors have their way with the cow as well. That's the way they eat their meat, I think, right?
They like it tender.
Yeah, they like it tender.
And what was it? Not well done, raw.
Yeah. What else could we say?
Okay, yeah. So Planet Bug's bad and stuff, and then they're trying to recruit, and we follow our main character Johnny Rico, who's kind of naive, I'd say. Like he doesn't know much about the world.
Yeah, he's the type of guy who Well, I mean, he listens to his teacher.
He does things by the books, but
Ra-
doesn't
ra- rather-
understand them.
Yeah, so he listened to his teacher rather than his parents, I guess, right? In this case, right? Because his parents didn't want him to go.
Well, no, his teacher didn't tell him to go. He was kind of like trying to discourage them, as he said.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, true.
like, oh, you shouldn't do this stuff.
But the love interest with Carmen is what kind of
Yeah,
prompted
that's
him to
why
go.
he went. He
Yeah.
wanted to join the Federation because his girlfriend was gonna go out, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna follow her, and we're gonna have an awesome life together, and so forth. And so he did it for that.
And then they kind of
not
have
for
to go
the-
their separate ways for a while there.
At some point.
And
And the characters change and
Yeah.
grow up because there was this question that Gene Rascal asked Johnny earlier, like, what's the difference between a citizen and a civilian? And Johnny said something textbook like a civilian gets the vote, or no, a citizen gets the vote
yeah.
and have responsibilities, but a civilian doesn't. And then Rascal was like, wow, how very textbook. But by the end, he said something a lot more meaningful about.
Yeah, because at one point he didn't really know the true meaning until he experienced all those.
We'll save that because it's kind of a nice little growth for him.
Yeah.
So the first half hour or so, like 45 minutes or something, it's like you see like just kind of like the nice mellow high school life where
Yeah,
it's
like a
all everything's
prom
nice,
kind of thing, right?
dancing,
Going
no trauma, no nothing. Life's all good, and when they join the military, it's gonna be great for
Well,
citizenship.
I think one thing we should mention is they do a little setup of it, like they show the humans facing each other in that football game. Oh, so there's a kind of battle going on there, and then it's going to contrast with the battle they're going to have with the bugs. So I think they were trying to show the rivalries that were there between Rico and I'm trying to remember the other guys. Xander, I think. Xander. Is that his name?
Yeah, Xander.
So they're trying to show there's a rivalry, there's a love triangle going on, and that carries on to the other planet that they're going to be going to.
Although it kind of gets a little dismissed near the end of it, I felt like it kind of died down
Yeah.
by that point.
Yeah.
Literally, one of them died down.
Oh, one of them died.
No surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the first like 45 minutes or so, just all pieced, all like what's the opposite of pessimistic? Optimistic view of
Optimistic,
life, and then once the enlisting happens, then they go train. Oh, it's tough, and then something happens where a meteor hits Earth.
Yeah.
Hits Buenos Aires.
Yeah, Buenos Aires.
And
Yeah.
then it's time to go to war, and then in war, lots of people die.
Yeah, because initially Rico actually wanted to go back home, but then
Well, he wanted to join the military because Carmen was going to, so it's like, oh, I'll follow my girlfriend into it, and it's gonna be awesome. But it's not really his decision. He's kind of being led to going into
and
it.
he found out that they were going to be. I mean, it wasn't
They're gonna be
work out.
separate, and it was gonna work out. And so he's like, you know what? This is not for me. I should have listened to my parents. About to go home. Bam.
Actually, wait, something else happened too. He
Oh yeah, he also got one of his teammates killed.
Yeah,
and
'cause he took his
in
helmet off.
training.
so that also spooked him. So yeah.
Yeah, and people questioned him, and the training site lost some recruits because of his action. Because it was like, oh, this guy, I don't think I can trust my life with him. But Rico, like the colonels and whatever were like,
Yeah.
oh, this guy has potential to be really good.
So they want to keep him. So they give him like a whiplashing, literally.
But a very Jesus-like thing,
Yeah, like 10 whips.
which is not that. Well, it's bad, but
Yeah.
not that bad.
Yeah. But
So yeah, after that, Johnny reconsiders. It's like, you know, my parents were probably right, because they were really against him joining the military, because it's like people die there. Oh, but then they ended up dying from a meteor that gets crashed into Earth, because they said it was because of the bug's fault, and I'm like, I can't say either way.
so you think they were kind of constructing the
Making excuses for it, because I expected when that meteor crashed, the bugs would come out and invade Earth or something, but because they said like in that asteroid field, each meteorite had like a pod of bugs that would invade, so I was like, oh, if that was the case, then yeah, war times. But it's like, no, it wasn't. So they were just maybe that's another satire on the media, like oh, meteor comes striking from space. It's not the bugs, but it might be. So we're gonna say go kill them.
Well, they were definitely blowing things out of proportion when they were showing the
killed in action. The KIA.
Yeah, the amount of people that were dying and things like that.
Yeah, Johnny Rico quote unquote died. I don't even know how he survived because.
Yeah, he survived. They put him in like some kind
Oh
of.
wait. Oh wait, they did say he got saved by the
yeah.
the Roughnecks,
Yeah, true.
quote unquote. You didn't actually see it, but it was implied.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they all go to war and then get on the planet, and things don't turn out well,
No.
and things just got out of hands, and eventually, because it's like, oh, the bugs are acting really smart, so now we got to find out why that is, and towards the end you find out why that reason is, which we won't spoil. We won't spoil if you're curious, if you want to see what the end result is. Well, without spoiling it, what did you think of the end result of the conclusion?
I mean, it
Very
was,
B movie like.
yeah. I mean, they don't really set it up. I mean, they do make it seem like there's still gonna be it's gonna be an ongoing war. It's definitely not finished. But they did make a big step in trying to figure out what they're up against. So that's all we can say. I
Like
guess,
the
without
war
spoiling.
didn't like the war didn't end when the movie ended because
No.
they're still trying to find ways. But it's just
Yeah.
like this war that they just went through gave them an advantage for a future war, and that probably saved all of humanity. But yeah, so one part of the movie was just like all all positive and not and very naive life that they go through, and then the other half is like the harshness of the universe, and all the trials they must go through to I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, to I guess achieve their
Citizenship,
citizenship.
to prove themselves and to grow.
Which we kind of laughed about because like
That's not how it works.
yeah,
you mentioned.
generally everybody is considered a citizen when they either were born here or they sign up for the citizenship. So it's kind of weird that in this film you have to earn it, in a way.
But in the context of the
Yeah.
of the movie, it kind of made sense.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, the overall story, like, yeah, I agree. It's quite B movie like it like it did escalate in the middle, but then it kind of didn't escalate afterwards because it was just kind of like beginning. It was a slow start, then it got in the middle. It's like, oh, action stuff is happening. This is cool.
there was still, the ongoing love triangle, which I mean, Diz was always trying to get with
This character called Diz.
Rico, and eventually they do. So
And oh yeah, lots of people that Rico knows dies.
yeah,
Some for stupid. Well, actually, are they mostly stupid reasons? Because like there was that Japanese guy that just ran and was like, "Hey, I'll take you all on," and,
Yeah,
and it was like, well, he was gonna die.
Yeah,
You knew that.
they either got overly courageous or just
Bad luck, because like
Yeah.
it's just
or they turned their back, and you don't.
that one was really
Yeah.
dumb. I found because it's like nobody was watching when that bug like the bug just hide off screen. It's like, "Hey, buddy."
Yeah, yeah. So in that moment, I guess her action was rather dysfunctional. Yeah, I had to say that was a bad pun,
Oh god. Oh, dysfunctional. God damn it.
but other thing we could say is, did you find it funny that these bugs, when they were sending out their blasts or they,
Oh, wait, the ass bugs.
yeah, they were farting it out.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Or-
It was interesting because it was.
or they try to imply there, like they the force that they were busting them out was like so astronomical, or I don't know.
Oh wow. No, I kind of view it as kind of like a sci-fi idea. Like, how do we have like something organic, like that's not like a cannon or machinery that shoots
I guess.
that shoots like pulsal plasma into
Instead of
space, and
shooting
it's
it out,
just
you
like
shit
a.
it out. Right.
Oh, we know who got the shit end of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of like a cool idea, like an organic cannon, because there was
Yeah.
also that flamethrower bug that
Yeah, that's true.
which that scene was kind of weird when Rico jumped on and just like was standing there as the bug was spinning around.
Yeah, he was
and
able
stuff.
to
And I was
hang
like,
on.
how did he hang on there? that kind of like I was like questionable. I know what his plan was, it just didn't work that well. Heck, Diz's plan was much better. Chuck a grenade into its mouth.
I guess you could say Rico is a character who's just nerfed in every way. He maybe he played with Nerf footballs. I don't know, but he just seemed like he had like way too much advantage over things, like the way he would do flips and all these weird acrobatic stunts. And
Well, it could be though that's what they teach in their educational system in that universe. I don't know. They don't. It's just like like Johnny just knows how to do that stuff.
I guess the hero is supposed to be like kind of
He's the main character,
like an extraordinary individual.
Yeah. Although because he managed
to survive, right?
He managed to become colonel in like a relatively short amount of time from what we've been seeing.
Yeah. But they're also trying to point out he's not perfect. I mean, humans aren't perfect. He's terrible at math, but I mean, he's good at other things. So
I was saying he wasn't a very calculating person, but
yeah.
Well, he kind of is.
The movie is just trying to maybe point out that
everyone is special.
Everybody's good in their own way at something. I think that's what it's trying to say. Right?
Perhaps. Stuff.
Like you had the comic relief guy Levy, who I kept saying he looks like. I was like, who is this guy? And then apparently Gary Busey's son. So maybe Gary Busey was too busy to be in the movie, but his son was.
Like there was something about his teeth that was like you were like, oh, I wonder is he Gary Busey's son? I look it up, it's like, oh, it's Gary Busey's son.
Yeah, and he had a violin. I guess he's trying to show that he's talented in that way. But I was hoping. I know that'd be pretty cheesy, but I was hoping that like. One of the soldiers would, when they died, he would do the. But that'd be
too much. That's too much. Oh yeah, then there's the cameraman who's just like.
Oh yeah,
they're retreating, there he's like, I'm just gonna keep filming, and then I'll get surprised he dies.
Yeah, that was Paul Verhoeven's. I think, he's poking fun at the media. Like no matter what, they're gonna try to capture the moment, and if they're gonna die, so be it. They're just gonna capture that moment.
Let's see.
So I guess it's live for the moment, die for the moment in that sense. But yeah.
What was it?
What else can we point out? We already talked about the characters.
And now I was talking about how did I say how Paul Verhoeven doesn't care if someone dies and when they die they just die? Because there was also the thing like there was also the nudity in this movie where it's like who cares? Because you mentioned something to me. I was talking about the like what the censorship of the showing the kids stuff. Because I remember back in history class, like my history teacher told me like when they were showing a Starship Trooper to the kids, decapitation everywhere. A-okay.
Nudity.
Sex and nudity. Oh
no.
Fuck no. Well, fast forward. But apparently it's different in Europe,
which is kind of funny because in Europe it's the opposite. Violence is highly censored, like in those news ads in this film, or sorry, commercial ads, I should say. But in Europe, nudity is fine. No questions about nudity. They'll even show it to teenagers. It's fine. But,
I think in Asia, I think in Asia they also don't care. They don't mind the nudity that much
it's not
either,
as bad,
too.
especially in like Japan. Yeah.
Like obviously, if it's explicit nudity, then there's the whole censoring part of it.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, because I was also talking because that brought something up. It's like, well, what can you and what should you show to a kid? And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't show like a kid like something sexual because that they shouldn't be exposed to it that early. Nudity, I would be if and on about it because if you keep hiding that stuff from them, they'll be like, ooh, it's special, and then they make a big deal out of it. So when they're shown violence and they're like, they
become desensitized pretty much.
Yeah, that pretty much that's the thing.
I mean, this film's very over the top in terms of its gore. So it is pretty desensitized, I would say. I mean, like with RoboCop, that one I think it tried to be a bit more. It was still over the top, obviously, RoboCop, but it was
more impactful.
Yeah, like the way they,
the Murphy death scene.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, pretty.
That was pretty. Like compared to this one, this one seems kind of.
Yeah, they just kill them and whatever.
It's just that's kind of thing. Things get killed and such.
I mean, there was one scene near the end where maybe they did show a little bit more, but yeah, usually the deaths were pretty quick in this film.
Yeah. They're just forgotten afterwards.
Yeah.
So we talked about the story. We talked about the music composer of it, which because the RoboCop-like theme is the only thing I can really remember from it.
Did anything bug you about this movie?
Very fun. Well, oh yeah, the thing with Johnny Rico on the bug and then the armor, because I kept harping on it. I was like, these guys, they're coming with magazine guns, but they have no pouches on their armor. Like they do, but it's very small. And I'm like, you're going to war and you're only carrying this much? No. I said it was probably for budget constraints, which is also funny because I was telling you how in Power Rangers they reused the armor from Starship Troopers. That's where I saw that the armor in that first before Starship Trooper, but I knew it was from Starship Trooper.
So they recycled it.
They literally did. And they also recycled it in Firefly too, so it was kind of very interesting and very cheap.
Well, I guess they're promoting, helping out the environment by recycling.
Well, yeah, that's true. They
maybe.
use stock footage and stuff.
Yeah.
It's also funny because Power Ranger Lost Galaxy also had a theme of fighting bugs too, so it was kind of like very. It felt very Starship Trooper inspired.
Yeah.
There was even like one episode where it was kind of like a horror themed episode, and there was like literally no Power Rangers for like the entire episode, which was that episode actually was kind of cool to me.
Oh,
But yeah, what do you think about the bug effects and such, and the space effects and all that?
I mean, I really like the. I thought the effects for the brain bug was pretty good, or were pretty good. Sorry, I thought that was.
Spoilers.
Well, not really. Like I mean.
No, just keep going.
Yeah, but I mean, every movie is gonna have
some sort of intelligence.
Yeah, or it's gonna have like, like Aliens had the Queen, so this film had its own variation on that, or on take
technically,
on that.
The brain bug would technically be the queen because it's control. It's like the hive queen.
Yeah, so the special effects for that were pretty cool. I think generally the effects blended in well, like as you said.
With the exception of maybe the firebug, because like that one was the most obvious CG.
At times it felt like almost like we're watching a video game.
Yeah, when we saw the behind the scene thing, it was unintentionally funny.
Would you say this film might have inspired games like Halo even?
No, because the whole space theme thing has already been done.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the Flood, like enemy inspired, maybe the Flood, but overall, no, not really.
Okay.
Actually, no. Actually, the armor in Halo is kind of similar to like the Starship Trooper armor too, because they got the helmet and just the body armor and no pouches for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought, I thought the bug effects were quite good. I had the space effects were also really good. It looked like Star Wars at certain points. But yeah, the only one that looked really bad was the firebug, because it's just like. You can tell that the bugs, when like the thousand of colonies like going around, like it had to be CG, but it blended in quite well. It was believable. But when the firebug came up, it's like so CG. Especially when it like ate the grenade, and it was like, oh, and it was like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I could say that bugged me about this film. I mean, at times it felt.
Oh yeah, and I like the action.
Yeah, I think initially it felt like it was missing. I don't know. There wasn't really like a heart to it at the beginning, and then like later on, I guess there's more character development.
Yeah, like they grew as people, because like
Yeah.
Johnny keeps seeing people die, and then he has to grow as a character to be better.
Yeah, and who was the guy who was trying to learn like
Psychic?
mind control or psychic? What was the character's name again?
Oh crap!
I forget it. I know it's
Zan? No, not Xander.
I think his real name like Neil Patrick Harris, was it? Oh. Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris. I don't know what the character was though, his name, but it's kind of funny because he started off in.
Oh, Carl.
Carl, yeah. He started off in the TV realm as Doogie Howser, which is like this I guess intelligent, young boy who was already a doctor at the age of, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something. So he's like the world's youngest doctor. So then they put him. I guess that's why they took him in this film as another smart character.
It kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Kind of like the smart guy.
But yeah.
Anything else you can think of to say about it? Because I had my facts, about it. Like with Power Rangers and the Japanese the Japanese anime of it. Actually, no, I didn't talk about that. Like I'll just say it briefly. That one had the power armor in it. I didn't see much of it. I only saw a clip of it, but it was supposed to be more faithful to the adaptation of the novel. So yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there's also. Did we mention like the Oh yeah, we did mention the sequel. There's also like a 3D animation or film of it with the power armor too. So, but I never saw it.
Okay. Well, I think we squashed.
We got all the bugs
just
out.
as much out of this film as we could have. I don't know what else we could discuss.
Well, I guess that just means, would you recommend it?
You know
Or
what?
would you tell them to bug off?
if you're into like B movies and satires of that kind, I'd say I'd recommend it.
And if you're a Paul Verhoeven
And you're
fan,
a Paul Verhoeven fan, you know what to expect. He's always going to be very over the top with his films and breaking the fourth wall and such. So yeah, if you're a fan of those and you like Basil Poledouris's soundtrack or score, I should say, yeah, I think you'll like it.
yeah,
Just
I
don't
like the
come in with
soundtrack.
high expectations. Like don't come in thinking it's gonna be like a serious movie, and you should be okay. Like don't think it's gonna be like Aliens or
Yeah,
Alien.
it's not
yeah.
grand. I'll say that. Like
And it knows that it's not trying to be grand, you know. So
so let's see. Well, yeah, I would definitely recommend watching it. Like I bought a bunch of Paul Verhoeven movies when we were at HMV that one time. Wait, BMV?
BMV.
BMV, yeah. And it was like get a bunch of Paul Verhoeven movies because RoboCop.
Yeah.
And yeah, this film I would definitely recommend checking it out at least once. It's a pretty fun B movie to watch. It's got good action and some pretty cool scenes because I mentioned to you I kept watching that scene where they were defending the fort as they were being overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So
But if your stomach easily turns, maybe not. Maybe
perhaps
maybe the
I
film
mean
will bug
if you're kind of weak to this stuff,
yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with using that word. Yeah, but like the thing it says on the cover, it's a gun ho sci-fi. Well, maybe not epic, but definitely gun ho sci-fi. Film.
I like how they went dot dot dot.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think.
It's
It's just
like
like
you forgot what to say. Epic what? Epic movie?
epic, no, or maybe epic variety.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny. I've never seen that. There's a comment that it just says gung ho sci-fi epic dot dot dot. It doesn't even say like what epic what like, right?
Epic.
That's pretty funny. I gotta say that's a pretty epic description of a movie, right? Or tagline.
But yeah, all in all, I recommend watching the movie. It's fun to watch, especially once in a while. Would you ever watch it again?
Personally, I think this watching it once was enough for me.
I would kind of agree. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was to rewatch it, I'd probably watch the scene when they were all recruited because I would not watch the Saved by the Bell scenes and when they were in high school and stuff because that stuff was just like
Yeah.
kind of like with Deadpool, like you don't want to watch the origin story anymore. You just want to watch all the
Move
Deadpool
on.
parts. Like if you were to rewatch that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would rewatch it for the action scenes because the action's fun and just it's cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, Starship Troopers. Check it out.
And bug out.
It's Willy Terminator. It's Willy Terminator. It's Willy Terminator.
There was and there was a few other things like the censorship.
Oh, censorship.
The censorship.
Yes, it's true. Because certain things in the media get censored, but then other things don't. In the movie, obviously there is no censorship, but in the news clippings there are censorship, right?
Yeah. So
So they're trying to show.
overall, you would say you'd kind of enjoy it, like maybe not the best because we were talking about it earlier, and it kind of seems like seems kind of light. Well,
Yeah, it's kind of like it has that B movie feel to it for sure, a little bit.
a big budget B movie.
Okay. Well, I guess because of the lack of armor that they were supposed to have from the books, right?
There's a kind of a bit of a story behind like the Starship Troopers series that I did read up on like before I saw the movie, like out of interest is in the original story they were supposed to be wearing power armor like say in the Fallout games to fight the bugs and not the armor that always get ripped to shred whenever they get attacked, and it's like, why the fuck do you
Like he's all like badass at the beginning. Then when he's getting involved with the aliens, he gets like all scared. Well, it's the same with these guys. They just get thrown into the mix, and a lot of them aren't ready for it, and they want to run away.
Yeah, well, for my first time seeing Starship Trooper in its entirety, I enjoyed it. I liked it. It was fun to watch, and then there are quite a bit of like subtleties in it too that are fun if you think and talk through about it. Because the sequels to these movies, like the directors or whoever didn't understand the what Paul Verhoeven did and like why this the original Starship Trooper movie worked so well, and it was just like it was missing those subtle messages and satire of military because it was just like, hey, shooting bugs is fun. That'll make for a good movie. I haven't actually seen it, but I don't really. From what people have told me or I've seen comments about, I don't think I would want to watch it. Unlike say RoboCop 2 and 3, which is also by Paul Verhoeven.
Yeah, and the music composer for this film was also involved with RoboCop.
Yeah. Every
Basil
time I get the,
Poledouris, yeah.
every time I expect the dun 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 dun. It wasn't wear it at all. If it just it doesn't really protect you because, yeah, it seems kind of like deadweight to me. I guess it's to protect them from shooting each other, perhaps, because there was that thing where Johnny Rico removed one of the teammates' like helmet and he got blasted in the head.
Yeah.
So perhaps maybe it's not the armor for the bugs but for the soldiers. So when they're shooting, it's like, don't worry, just keep shooting and you'll hit the bugs and not so much the guys.
I think it was also trying to point to the fact that they didn't know what they were up against. A lot of people, even like when they go to war, maybe they underestimate their enemy,
Which is the case in
this film as well. But yeah, definitely, it's going back to the B movies. Like there was movies where like insects came to like try to take over the world,
or some sort of invasion infection, kind of like a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, Aliens was probably a great inspiration for this film, I would say. But this is definitely more of a parody than Aliens was.
But would you say it was an enjoyable parody? Cause
yeah, I mean, even Aliens was also poking fun at things like there's one character who
we're back.
They're back. It's World D Titanator.
Yeah, we're back. So soon.
yes,
It's almost as if we were doing another vlog entirely.
were we? I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe. It's good to be back, sir.
Yes, Eddie's. So, anyways, yeah, we recently watched another movie that we saw a lot more recently, and so it's a lot more fresh in our heads. Is Starship Trooper by Paul Verhoeven, because I've always been meaning to watch this movie.
Yes, this is the first time that we've seen it.
First time I got to see it in its entirety, because I saw bits and clips of it, but not the entirety of the movie. So, first impressions. What did you think of the movie?
Well, it was definitely a satirical approach to. I think we were talking about the wars that go on around the world, the way the media can manipulate
the
things,
military, the media, and
it was almost the
very
same.
similar.
Very similar, yeah.
I would have liked to see like a robot, like they constructed an android to help fight with the machines too.
Yeah, I was hoping that part where they show the guy's hand like it's been obviously removed, so it has like an armor. I was hoping that Peter Weller would have been asked to be in this film because Paul Verhoeven did ask some of his previous cast members to be in this movie. So I thought.
Oh, why did you mention the previous cast members that you've seen in here in other movies, like say Total Recall? There were two characters you brought up.
Rascal was his name. Rascal. He is played by Michael Ironside, who was also Richter in Total Recall. It was here at the party, Richter. Yes, the guy who loses his arms.
And in this movie, he loses his legs.
Yes, I guess that was like an inside joke by Paul Verhoeven.
You think so? Because
Most
it's kind of
likely,
like I think it's just we're overthinking, and it's just kind of hey, that's funny. He loses his arm in Total Recall. He loses his legs.
No, I'm pretty sure he did it for that reason.
He technically lost his
his
left arm.
I think it would have been funnier if he started the movie with no arms and then he had no legs at the end of it. But I guess that would have been too cruel. So Paul Verhoeven let him keep one arm at the beginning.